Hello and good morning from Shanghai. Gosh, it's been a while since I've been back. It's been 8 years actually, but if there's one thing I remember very well, it's their food. It is delicious and it is extremely affordable. So today I wanted to try a special challenge where I'm gonna try to get all of Shanghai's iconic street foods for under $15. That is around 100 yuan. Except we won't be needing this because they mostly take cashless payments now. Going back to the challenge though, I think it's going to be doable. So let's see how many of these classics I can get today. But first, because I have a limited time here, just 24 hours, and I wanted to make sure we're getting maximum coverage, I actually did a bunch of research even before I got on a plane. I already had a few street food items in mind, but I needed to figure out which ones were the absolute must-tries and where to find them in Shanghai. So what I did was I asked Claude to help me build a comprehensive list of Shanghai street foods and to provide a little bit of their history, how they evolved over time, and any fun facts I could share. I also asked her for a ballpark range of how much each item would cost so I could have an estimate of sorts, and this actually became such a great starting point to build on. Also, some location recommendations because I wanted to find a good mix of local spots and touristy spots that are more accessible for visitors. But the real game changer was asking Claude to help me plan an optimized route through the city to hit all these food spots efficiently within a day's schedule. So you can see it mapped out this little street food journey with like a realistic timeline that actually considered travel time between locations, even dropping peak hours at different stalls and factored in breaks for filming and digesting. This was the coolest thing for me. So I just wanted to share a little bit about how Claude essentially became my virtual tour guide. If you have a trip coming up and you don't know where to start with the researching and the planning, or you just need some help with your creative projects, I would recommend giving Claude a try and be amazed. Okay, let's head out into our first spot of the day. Shanghai! Woo! I made it out to Yuyuan. This is a very iconic place in Shanghai. You can see all the architectures around me, beautiful traditional buildings. I was actually here last night and I really liked the vibe. It is a very iconic place to be at. I will say the street food here is a little more expensive, but I wanted to try iconic foods at an iconic landmark. So I know there's a couple of famous places around here that I want to try. Gonna try and eat some things that I wasn't able to get yesterday. Here we are at 25. Here it is. Here we have the xiaolongbao at 25 renminbi, but this restaurant has been here for quite a while. I think I've been to Shanghai a few times before, and every time I've come, this is the restaurant I've been to. So there's a lot of memories tied to this place. I also did actually have this last night. It was just supposed to be a little evening walk, but I couldn't resist, and let me tell you, these soup dumplings are legitimately my favorite soup dumplings in the world. Shanghai is, after all, the OG place for xiaolongbao. Just casually, you can see the amount of pleats they have, but oh my gosh, they are incredibly juicy. There is something about their broth that is just so delicious. It just tastes different from any other broth out there. It's just richer, it has more flavor. I can't eat this properly because there's no spoon this time and we're kind of just pouring the vinegar over. But I like to take a little bite first and just try to scoop up some vinegar in this little dumpling pocket, and it is so good. Also, Shanghainese vinegar is different from, I think, the usual vinegar we use. It's a lot less acidic, but still packs a lot of flavor in there. So that's why I like to just dunk it in there. Not technically your standard street food, but in Shanghai, I suppose. Eating this with a nice little breeze. What a great start to the day. I'm gonna inhale this. 25 gone, we still have 75 left. Finish and continue. At my next stop, this is Hu Chun. They are known for their pan-fried buns. Bit of a crazy line here. Wait, didn't have to line up because there is a to-go place to order. It's actually cheaper on this side. Woo-wee! It was a whole situation trying to get these buns. It's just really popping in there, but found this nice little spot to sit down to open these Xinjianbao pan-fried buns. These were 15 renminbi for 4. Another very iconic Shanghai snack food. See that beautiful golden crispy bottom? How they make this, right, is that they pleat and fold these buns, and we actually saw them making this by the window. Just like a whole little factory of ladies just making these buns super fast again. Then they have someone else come in to take these buns and put it on this huge cast iron pan. Fry them first to give them, again, these like golden crispy bottoms, and then let them steam until you get this beautiful bun. That's how you get the soft top but the crispy bottom. Every time I come to this city, this is a must get. There are so many different chains that do this. Just went to another one the first day I got here. So juicy, it destroyed my jacket. So today, I hope I don't repeat it. I am wearing white. This one has less broth in it than the one I had the other day, but you can see very clearly all the meat that is in there. And even though there wasn't like broth gushing out, that bite was super flavorful. You can taste that the dough kind of soaked up a lot of that meat juice. The meat is super tender, so it goes really well with the dough, which is a little more springy. Again, none of these feel too doughy, even though there is, you know, that whole layer wrapped around it. I saved that crispy bottom for the very last bite. So good. Another street food. Checked off. 40 renminbi, gone. We still have 60 left. I feel like we already got so much food. I'm gonna keep going. There's a lot of walking to be done today. There's one more thing I want to try here. All right, I secured the Qingtuan. This was 10 renminbi for one and 5 renminbi for the other. I got 2 flavors. I was also not expecting them to be served warm, which is really nice. Qingtuans are essentially a mochi-like dumpling. They're made with glutinous rice flour and mugwort powder, so that's why they get their very green color. I think this is the more traditional version. This is dousha, so it has some kind of bean paste inside, and then this one is danhuang rou song, egg yolk and meat floss. So sweet and savory. This is what it looks like. Doesn't really smell like anything specific. It just mostly smells like rice cake. It is super chewy. I know I said it was mochi-like, but I feel like it's even chewier than mochi. You don't really taste the mugwort powder. I feel like over here they really do just give you so much filling. Look at that ratio. All that red bean paste in the middle. Ooh, this is kind of nice. If you like a red bean mochi, except even chewier. Let's try this savory one. Kind of already see the oil on the outside there. Looks the same on the outside, but let's see on the inside. It's sticking all over my teeth. Look at this filling. Wow. It is full of that egg yolk and meat floss. The neutral flavor of the outside kind of balances out the intensity of the inside. There's definitely a little more grit because of the egg yolk, but it is extremely umami. Which one do I like more? If it's just one bite, I would like this one more. I like that intensity. But if I'm finishing the entire thing, I feel like this is very crushable. All right, quick math moment. We still have 35. Made a pretty big dent, but I'm excited. Moving out of this area, I'm gonna go find some other street food in our next place. I'm walking down Sipai Lou, which used to be a very, very popular street food street, but I think they got rid of all their vendors. Now it's just kind of pretty empty. I think they're trying to redevelop this area. Kind of sad, but I just wanted to see what it was like now. You can still see some remains of it. This like stone gate signage of where the street starts. Now it's just mostly empty and you get like a little bit of that local wet market at the end, but sad. Still good to see it for what it is now. An accidental pit stop, but I was just walking past this street and I smelled the scallion pancakes from the stall. This man was watching videos of scallion pancakes being made while he's making scallion pancakes, so I was very intrigued. And so, adding another iconic street food from Shanghai onto our list, this is the scallion pancake. Oh my gosh, there's so many scallions in here. Super crispy. I saw him rolling these. They're freshly made, seared both sides, golden brown in the oil. It's just a perfect circular shape. 6 renminbi, less than $1. All right, let's try it. I know there was a lot of scallions, but like he really like jam-packed the scallion pack with scallions, which as a scallion lover, amazing. Crispy on the outside, soft and flaky on the inside. You can actually see those layers inside the pancake itself, even though it's so thin. This is a very well-made scallion pancake. Just by chance, this is the beauty of it, right? You just don't even need to go to the famous vendors. Just go to like a random vendor on the street and this is what you can get. Maybe he was watching videos to study to be how to be a scallion pancake master. I don't know, but this is a really good scallion pancake. Only 6 RMB. My goodness. We're gonna eat so good today. Next stop, going. I didn't even make it to the next stop. Literally got into the MTR station, the metro station, and I saw this stall, this old couple. The husband is like making the dough, wrapped it so expertly, so fast. It was like this little dough that he patiently rolled out until it's super flat, and then he dips it in water so he can stick it to the oven. This is a 梅菜扣肉烧饼, preserved Chinese mustard with like a bit of fatty meat in a 烧饼, a flatbread. This was 6 renminbi. It's also actually one of my favorite snacks to eat. The way they make it is kind of like how you would make naan, right? They put it in this sort of oven where they just stick the dough to the sides. And I was asking the lady, she said it usually takes about just a minute or so if the temperature is right. But mostly I was distracted by the expertise with which this guy made this 烧饼. It's massive. You can see all the sesame seeds in there. It is super, super thin and crispy. Let's eat it. Ooh, that works too. Look, there's not really that much meat in there. That's not really the point. But you see all of those pickled Chinese mustard bits in there. That's what's giving it most of its flavor. And the beauty of it again is that it's thin and crispy. And the sesame seeds add such like a wonderful nutty flavor to it. And just like randomly again, at like a metro station. Why can't we have this in our subway station? Alright, I promise the next time you see me, I will have made it to our next spot. Where are we at with money? I don't even remember. This was 7 renminbi. 7. Okay. This used to be like the very popular breakfast spot that everyone would come to grab, you know, breakfast in the morning. So you'll get like xiaolongbao, jianbao, all of that good stuff. Now it's kind of been boarded up, just redeveloped, which is kind of sad. But I found this one singular dumpling spot. So I got some dumplings, and these were 9 renminbi. Well, specifically, these are called guotie, so they have the pan-fried crispy bottom. So they're made, ooh, That was a juice strip. They're kind of made very similar to how you make xiaolongbao, but just that instead of steamed buns, you get the juicy dumps. Let's give it a try. I can tell that the skin is going to be pretty cute though. Hold it up so you can see. Once again. Please don't squirt all over me. It happened. Let that be testament to how juicy the things are over here. I literally have soup just dripping down. This is crazy. The wind is crazy. Mid-eating, actually, I'm going back over because they're really nice. I was asking them, when are you gonna buy a new batch? And they actually brought me over to say that I can come film it. 谢谢。
刚才是给老板打工的，打工打了3年，不过就接手了这家店。老板，好的。如果这样子干，锅盖盖上去大概10分钟左右。做一天是一天，也快来，是不是那是这样的价格？9块钱的烧麻薯，好了，9块烧麻薯。
It's so good, I had to just stand here and eat some more. Check in after. This was the coolest experience ever. Really just expected to come get dumplings and leave, but went from eating it away from here to like watching the entire thing being made. And then he invited us to sit down, so oh, this was so lovely. Finally, last item of today. I found this one on my way back to the hotel. This is the Bingtang Hulu, the sugar-coated hawthorns. This is like a very classic Chinese street food snack. Hawthorn fruit in the middle, and then you have this thin layer of sugar around it. I feel like it's been very popular in recent years. This is an edible piece of paper that just helps it from sticking to the paper bag, but 13.8 RMB, 20 cents left, but I feel like we came pretty close. That was a much bigger bite than I anticipated, but you can see the hawthorn in the middle, the sugar around there, and this one's like a de-seeded version, so much easier to eat. I haven't eaten this hawthorn version in a long time. I feel like most of the ones now are just like very trendy. They have fruits in there. This is the OG. Honestly, a bit of a guilty pleasure, if I do say so myself. I'm glad I found it. I wanted to end today on a little bit of a sweeter note. I think we did pretty good, you know? We were aiming for $15 worth of free food. Honestly, this was way more than I expected. Everything was just like came in huge portions. They were delicious. If I had to pick a favorite, I gotta say it was the dumplings. Just the whole experience was so lovely, being able to see that being made from scratch. I know I'll be thinking about that for a long time. $15 street food challenge in Shanghai. I think this was a great success. Time to go back to the hotel and rest because I am exhausted. Very full, but great day. Thanks for a great time, Shanghai. See you in the next video.